Hey everybody, it's the Yuki, and today I want to talk about is it still worth streaming VR chat in 2025 and based on the content and what I have seen analytically here on the channel. So let's talk about two perspectives of this particular topic. The first perspective is from the fans, as you guys can see here, with the polls. And the second one we're going to be taking a look at is from the analytical point of view, where we take a look at the data and numbers. But before we get into the whole topic, make sure you guys check out Kick. We are streaming on Kick on Mondays and Wednesdays at 5:30. We're going to be doing Super Mario World ROM hacks as well as Super Mario 64 ROM hacks here on Kick and YouTube. Make sure you guys check out Kick. It's Retro Yuki, the same name, the same days too and the same time. I'm doing multi-stream with YouTube and Kick. Okay, let's see what happens here. Also, I am doing a Patreon and I am doing a Ko-fi. So for Patreon, if you guys support me on Patreon, I'm gonna give you early access to VRChat roleplay videos. That actually has something to do with what I'm going to be talking about today. I'll get into that later. Same thing on Kofi. If you guys are interested as well, I'm doing roleplay videos early. Access is there as well. And I'm opening commissions to fan fiction for transformation stories, your character to a Pokemon. For more information, check out my Kofi. For that, there is an add-on you can purchase for that for commissions. Now let's talk about VR chat in terms of is it worth streaming or not. So on the fan side, we have two polls for you guys. The first one is based on what is happening in the Sonic community, and I am very specifically talking about the Sonic community. And be honest with this: do you think it's worth streaming VR chat as today? Like, let's say I return on Thursday, like I've been mentioning. I'm looking at this particular poll analytically and not from someone who watches content on this channel. This is to see what I can start content wise. So, what am I trying to say on this particular question? What I'm trying to say here is I am looking at this poll when you answer it as a person who looks at numbers and math in terms of like what am I looking for in terms of is it worth streaming and all that good stuff. And so far you guys said yes, but it's not like yes it is 100%, but it's more like two people out of who knows how many people. So it's not like it's overwhelming. And then everybody else did not vote. That's okay. The second question more has to do with the channel as a whole. What did you come here for? This is more of a content realignment thing that I'm trying to do. And I'll do a video on content realignment later. But let's talk about this particular question. In addition to the poll below, which is this poll right here, answer this one as well honestly. I will be using this for a commentary video, which just happens to be this one. What type of content made you subscribe to this channel? Not the other ones. Don't worry about Francis the Hedgehog Gaming or the Francis Squad, which returns today, or any other channel I have. Just think about this one. What do you come here for? 100% of you so far said tutorials, either the live version or the not live version. None of you said VR chat, RP, or VR chat live for that matter. None of you also said Mario streams, and none of you said commentary or gaming news. Which leads me to tell me so far I was right in terms of analytics and in terms of what I saw. Because what I am gathering is that you guys like the tutorials, and I was right. because those seem to be getting more views than I thought they would be. And obviously, when I started this channel back in the day, I did more tutorials. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, now let's go into this as a analyst, like numbers and math and formulas. So all throughout the year, I have been gathering data based on views and stuff on stream, and all this what I'm about to show you is YouTube only, because for Kick and TikTok and Twitch, I just returned to Kick and I just tried again Twitch. I'm not going to go over the data for those because I am returning, so we'll see what happens after a few weeks. But we'll see. But let's talk about VR chat in particular on this data sheet. So as you guys can see here, VR chat actually did not do as bad as I thought it would at 28%. Mario had 36%. Now, obviously, the start of the year is only the start of the year, so anything can happen. So the first character I did for the year was Sonic. Okay, he had the highest at 81. Okay, ironically, Kobe Bryant scored 81. Then the next week we had Amy. If we went from 81 all the way down to 21, that is a 60 view drop off. Then we did not do VR chat until 2 weeks later. Now, granted, the one at the end of the month was a little bit more different because of the fact of the LA fires. We did the campaign thing for TIF Wildfire to help them um, fight the fires in Los Angeles when they had it, when we had the fires in the Pacific Palisades. And for that particular week, we had two VR chats because of the charity run. But if you take a look at the at both of them, like when we combine them, that's only 47 views when you combine. Now 47 will beat 22 any day of the week, but that's still not as good as you think because we're about to show you guys some other numbers. And then we ended up ending January with a brand new thing for anime night. February, so at the end of the month, January, we had 232 views, good enough for second place. That's not gonna last. That never lasted. February comes along. I mean, it's to start the month of February. It was it was rough. It was a little slow, but that's because February started on the weekend. Therefore, we're not gonna get as much as I thought it would be. But 33 views total is not that bad. Here's where the good stuff. Here's where the numbers come into play. However, so this is when I said I think for VR chat we're gonna try some stuff around. We did not do as much in February. We only had two streams in February, and for the month of February we have to go all the way to week three. I think week three, yeah, week three for Francis de Riolu at 72. Now 72 views. Again, that was very good. But the following week, I believe we did it, or was it 2 weeks later? I know we had two streams in um February. I don't know where the other one went, but I remember there was two. Unless I miscalculated, we only had one. So that's my bad if we did not do it. But no matter what the numbers say, even if it's just one stream or two streams for VRChat. Look at where VRChat landed. VRChat for the month of February landed in fourth place with 72 views. Oh yeah, that makes sense. One. We only had one stream actually. I just saw that. So it barely missed last place by about it barely missed last place by about 10 views because the indie games were were not bad, and then Rocket League was trying to get momentum. So it was a three three horse race for third, fourth, fifth. Okay, and Shellout Sundays got last place, but not by much. Not by much, but you don't know what would have happened if there was four VR chat streams that month. Then March rolled around. So at this point in the year, we were talking about thinking about trying something new, including live tutorials. Okay, live tutorials and stuff. And that's exactly what happened. So what happened was in March, we also were on the eve in March, we were also on the eve of the return to Mario Maker because that's happened in March. But when it comes to VR chat, the only reason why you saw any VR chat content at all was because we started the whole live tutorial aspect. And for those of you who are not aware, basically what happened was I went back to live I went to try live tutorials because that's how my channel started as a tutorial channel. So I started doing that, and actually it did not do that bad. I'm not gonna say, oh, it's number one because Mario took number one no matter what. But if you take a look at the numbers on the right side, the the tutorials did not do that bad. Third place, okay. Second place, second place by just a little bit was Mario Maker. Now Mario Maker and Mario ROM hacks do not are not equal because Mario Maker is an actual game on Nintendo. Mario ROM hacks, somebody has to make them by using third-party tools like Lunar Magic. So that's why I separated the two categories. But still, Mario Maker over VR chat, Mario over VR chat. That has been the constant so far. Also in March, I decided to take a break from VR chat, as in VR chat is the software, not the tutorial. And then we had a week where we tried to finish one of the ROM hacks. April comes around and there was only two VR chat streams. Now, technically speaking, I'm not supposed to stream in April for VR chat because of me taking a break. But because it was Kyle's birthday, I gave that an exception. But if we take a look at the numbers for that too, it was only 38. Now, there's an NA here because this is not like I'm coming back to VR chat every week or every 2 weeks. So that's why there's an NA here. But if I actually gave this a ranking, this is in fourth place. But as you guys see, we have a little bit of a of a new trend for the month of April. The live tutorials actually and Mario and the live tutorials were doing a battle with each other. And I am not joking when it became a battle. There was one point where Mario Maker 2 was only in the lead for by like 5 views. And then live tutorials became higher. Then the Mario Maker came back. Then it was literally back and forth between Mario Maker 2 and live tutorials. That's how crazy April ended with those two. Mario fan games and ROM hacks for the very first time this year ended up in third place only because Mario Maker 2 and live tutorials were fighting for first and second. That's how nuts April was. And then the break continued from VRChat. And the only reason why it was that much, that close for live tutorials, because on on April 22nd, we had that live tutorial for Fusion for DaVinci Resolve, and that took home 156 views. It was a huge one, huge poll. Then May came around, not last month. VRChat was on break because I said after that birthday stream, we were gonna we were continuing our break, and once again, live tutorials in Mario again, number one and two. The only difference this time between the two was the fact that Mario took home 1,000 views. Live tutorials only took home 341. But considering that you're facing Mario, yeah, I wasn't surprised. And then Call of Duty Mobile comes out of nowhere to steal third place. So everything happened in May. And then there was this week from May 5th to May 10 that we had four streams of Mario that went over 100 views, and one of them nearly two of them nearly crossed 200. That's how crazy the month of May was for Mario. It was on a roll. All right. Then June. Now, obviously, we're still in June, so anything can happen. But as you guys can already see, there's a trend developing. There's already a trend developing. Now, obviously, we're still in the month of June, so these numbers are going to change dramatically once everything else is streamed. But there's also a new thing that's happened in June. As you guys can see, I have cut down the number of streams per week. Now, obviously, the reason for that is because we have TikTok um trying to be on there, and we also have the Twitch and Kick. Although I'm going to be spending my time more on Kick. So, how many streams per week can you expect on YouTube when on this new schedule? If I do not move COD Mobile and My Hero Ultra Rumble, then you're only gonna expect five, actually six, because I am thinking I'm going to do this in my realignment video. I am on my next ROM hack that we play. I am thinking of streaming the Mario stuff on Yuki Mario World only because of this particular poll right here. I'm gonna be going back to tutorials on this main channel. The only thing I'm gonna keep on here possibly is like VR chat material because I know people watch that. And then also speaking of that, um, this channel is coming back. The world tours are coming back, and this channel is going to start real for real. This this channel is going to start for real. Now I'm not sure about the tutorials here. I'll think about it. But VR content is coming. And I'm not just talking about VR chat. I'm also talking about VR gaming, like from MetaQuest. So that's coming. And then we have um this channel for world tours. This is coming back as mentioned in the poll, in one of the polls. I just have to come up with a better format. That's all. And also, as of the recording of this video, this channel is coming back today. So, and then on top of that, if you're not aware by now, Francis the Hedgehog Gaming is new. This is a new channel. I rebranded. No, not new channel. This is rebrand of one of the old channels. But this is for anime gaming, which means this is becoming the new anime gaming channel for you guys. And I am thinking of a Pokemon ROM hack or Tails something, Tails of Graces or something like that. So there's a lot of new stuff coming. And then this channel, which used to be for tutorials, I'm gonna keep it as tutorials. I am moving all the VRChat stuff to VR production. Now, as far as live streams go, for VRChat, I'm still thinking, do I put it here or do I put it on the main channel? We'll see. I'll tell you guys on the realignment video later today or tomorrow. But let's continue speaking on the VRChat material because we're not quite done yet. Because I want to talk about Thursday. In particular, June 19, 2025, which is this Thursday. I put the VRChat return with a question mark. Here's why. I want to see, I really want to test you guys on Thursday. Thursday is more of a test. Is it really me or my numbers support what I'm saying? What I mean by this, the numbers that I'm seeing right now suggest that Mario is taking over, Mario over VR chat, and VR chat cannot get views. Well, it can, but there might be a video coming out for that too because I want to talk about VR chat by itself in terms of like content wise because I wanted to expand on that whole ideology about like the style. That's why it's still a question mark, and that's why if you look at the schedule right now, I said that we're coming back on Thursday, but on the scheduled live streams, I don't have VR chat. I have the Mario one because that's always going to be happening, but I don't have the VR chat one where it's every Thursday. That's because I'm trying out a new format here. Don't do too many live streams, but do more content in VR. That's why that's the whole that's actually the original reason why I made VR production. It's for VR. Get it? VR, VR production. Now, what does VR production mean? It does not just mean VR chat. It means VR gaming. It means games on VR that I think you guys are going to enjoy. Now, editing is going to take a while, but that seems that is to be expected considering that I have to find my way around editing a VR video. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. I am just saying that it's going to be something new. Also, I am also doing a return of another channel. Now, I didn't talk about this channel much, but Tabletop Tales is coming back. But it's going to be more of the style of around the tabletop, where I'm going to be talking about Kickstarters that are happening in terms of VR, in terms of tabletop gaming. What you guys think should take a look at. That's another thing. But VR is coming on the VR Productions channel. I'm gonna be turning this more into like a tutorial channel. Although Mario might be here. Actually, now that I think about it, Mario's gonna be here, and if Twitch doesn't work, Mario is always going to be here. So that's another thing you need to look. Need, that's another thing you have to think about. I'll explain this more in my content realignment video because mostly for today I want to talk about VR chat. So the question that I think you guys want me to answer now is this question. Still worth streaming VR chat. Now I put Mario here because I am thinking of doing Mario on Thursday. But based on what I've noticed with data and based I've noticed with you guys as fans, it's going to be a hit or miss. It's not a yes or a no. It's more of a mid. And here's why. If you look at VR chat content, when you talking about streaming, what is the number one thing that you see on VR chat stream? If your answer was Hangout, that is the correct answer. Most of the time, when you see the big YouTubers like Shadow the Hedgehog or Say Their Piece do VR chat, they are doing Hangout. Now, it's not a bad idea. The problem with that is it's a same formula. It's the same formula. Now, when we're about what about the VR chat games? We can do the VR chat games. It's just that what are you guys into? That's the thing. That's the thing I wanna investigate. But believe it or not, I am making my own VR chat world, and there happens to be a board game. Now, keep in mind that I'm making my own game in this case, so don't expect it to come out right off the rippy when it comes to the first up upload. So the game is going to be like I'm gonna give you a little preview of what it sounds like. So as you guys know, I am a fan of Critical Role, and their newest game, the newest system is Dagger Heart. So the Dagger Heart thing is where you get the hope resource and you get to do like this and that. Well, I'm trying to think of a game where you can do Dagger Heart without the character sheet. Not without the character sheet, but more of a style that everybody knows. Board game. So let's take a look at let's look at a classic board game, Monopoly. Here is the Monopoly board. Everybody knows the Monopoly board, right? I hope so. So what's going to happen is I'm going to change this Monopoly board into a Daggeropoly, based on Dagger Heart. Your objective is as a team and the DM is to get around is to battle the boss. The boss, let's say this is going to be a Sonic inspired campaign. Your boss is going to be most likely Eggman, right? So let's say you go around the board. Around the board, you're going to be getting like resources like hope token, which is going to be required for your abilities. You can use those hope tokens to, let's say, spend a hope token and enhance your attack power when you roll your d12. You still have to beat the armor class or the evasion score, and then you still have to have a fear or hope mechanic. But the GM can also play on the board. Okay, the GM and the players cannot attack each other while going around the board. When you go on go, when you pass go, the players that attack that go on go, like let's say you pass go, on the go spot, instead of go, you will be able to attack. That's an attack spot. You'll be able to attack the boss. One on one, the GM versus the player that hit that passed the go mark. Okay? You get one attack, Okay, and then you can spend your hope resource to um to enhance your attack. The GM has a turn too, so keep that in mind. If the GM passes go, the the GM can always can attack one time for free. The game ends when the GM ends the story, takes out all the players, or the players take out the boss. That's what I'm thinking of doing for this, and it's a Daggerheart inspired Monopoly. That's what I'm thinking of making for VR chat. But I'm not gonna show off what it's gonna look like yet because I need to demo that stuff first, okay? Because there's gonna be a lot of moving parts, and I want to make my own stuff. I want to learn how to do that, okay? So there's a lot to go over. But in this, in terms of the short answer, is it still worth doing VR chat live? It's kind of in the middle. If I am just gonna do Hangout, then no, because even the games is going to be a no unless it's a unique stream. It has to be like a birthday stream. It has to be like an event. For example, at 2,500 subscribers, I can actually do a special stream for you guys if you want. At 2,000, I already made my plan for the randomizer for Mario with the challenge of small Mario only. But we can do that at 2,500 with a special VR chat stream. Um, but on top of that, if it's something like I can show you me building my VR chat world, then yes, it is because that's unique. Nobody else. I mean, somebody might do it, but not as many. So if you want me to make a VR chat world live, yes, maybe it's worth it. But if you want me to do hangout and just games and stuff, no, because no, unless it's going to be an event. It has to be an event. So my answer will be it depends on the scenario. All right? That's all for now. I hope you guys understood this. I know there's a lot of tangents, but yeah, you got to understand what I'm thinking as well. So that's all for now. We'll see you guys very soon. And I will give you my decision of streaming on Thursday tomorrow. I still have to calculate stuff. Okay? That's all for now. Enjoy.